Well, it's been a busy month with two conferences, the Better Practice and the AXA National Conference wrapping up in Sydney. And I'm Rob Covino, and this is Mirus Industry Analysis September edition. So for this month's segment, we're going to focus on four key areas of the session: ADS, occupancy, percentage of claims and claiming activities, as well as our final segment on the age of claims greater than 12 months. ADS for the month of August has been relatively flat. However, the not-for-profits have led the charge with 20 cents increase on their ADS number. However, the for-profit operators continue to lead at 189 ADS for the month of August. Overall, the industry is still tracking accord at 178, and that is a 5-cent increase for the overall month. Occupancy for the month of August has also trended downward over a 3-month period. However, the not-for-profits continue to lead the charge with occupancy levels, and the for-profit operators struggling a bit to retain this 91.5% occupancy rates. This could be due to some of the influenza and a tough winter season that a lot of the for-profits have dealt with, as well as also the targeting of higher acuity residents at entry, as compared to some of their other not-for-profit partners who are traveling about 93% of their occupied beds. Claiming activity for the month of August has also trended higher than previous months. This is where we look at all ACFI claims being submitted to Medicare, and this involves all different types of Medicare claims, such as your voluntary as well as your mandatory claims. The for-profit operators are leading the charge with 12.8% of their overall ACFI claims being submitted over the month of August. Not-for-profits are tracking about 9% of their total claim base, and as an industry average, it's about 10.1%. This is up against all three cohorts of claiming activity for the month of August. The voluntary activity, which is the activity we look at, which is proactively seeking out where changes have occurred in the resident populations, has also had a mixed reaction. The not-for-profits are actually trending up at about 3.3% of their claim base. The not-for-profits have traveled pretty much in line with consistent for the last 3 months in their voluntary seeking of ACFI claims. The for-profits are leading the charge though with 3.6% of their resident population. However, this is down from previous months. Overall, the industry has traveled about 3.3% of their voluntary activity across the month of August. The age of ACFI claims greater than a 12-month period is another statistic that we look at across the industry. In this segment, we're looking at how or what portion of ACFI claims have not been attributed to or submitted within a 12-month period. This could indicate key risks for such as back claiming if they're downgraded through a validation, or it also suggests that there could be opportunities for the declining population and improvements where providers can seek those voluntary claims and resubmit them at higher levels. Overall, the not-for-profits have the highest portion of claims that have not been addressed for a 12-month period, and that's at 35.2% of their overall claim base. The private operators, however, have a less portion of their claims that have been addressed over a 12-month period, at about 22% of that. We attribute that to also some of the different admission strategies that are utilized for not-for-profits as compared to the for-profit operators, as well as the entry of, let's say, lower acute residents into not-for-profit organizations due to mission-based decisions for the not-for-profits, but for for-profits, we do see a higher acuity resident entering, which then leads to a higher churn rate of change in an organization. Overall, though, the industry is traveling about 31.3%, which is slightly down over the month of August, of claims that have not been addressed over a 12-month period. We'll continue to watch this segment because this is also an area of risk where, with the new validation rules, providers can lose funding up until the point in which a claim is submitted. So claims that are older than 12 months or 24 months or 36 months do elevate or have a heightened sense of risk to them in a sense of validation. So we've had a nice couple days at the AXA National Conference here in Sydney, and thank you for all the organizations that we got to meet over the course of the week. And we also had the Better Practice Conference in Sydney as well. So it's been a busy month of August and early September with the industry coming together and learning a lot about different areas and different changes in legislation that's occurring at the moment. One of the biggest areas of interest is the resource utilization and classification study. That study will be finishing its final report in December of this year, and that study is based off of the fixed and variable scenarios as well as some of the service utilization that they were looking into. So what does this mean for providers across the industry as we think about the next quarter or even 2 quarters for our business? Well, we know that the department is not going to change anything until we finalize these studies and we have enough time for the industry and also for the department to digest the recommendations and focus on the feedback of those areas. And we also know that this will still have consultation from our industry, so we're still seeking another 12 to 18 months of process of consultation through these outcomes. But what does it mean for providers? Well, continue to look at where you can manage your revenue, manage your staff costs, and continue to focus on managing and growing your sustainable business within aged care. I'm Rob Covino, and this is the Mirus Industry Analysis September edition.